Hey guys, how are you doing tonight? Going live as promised. Oh, let me set a timer so I remember. Whoops. Let's see. So I remember not to. Hey there. How are you? I'm just setting a timer so I don't actually blow over my bedtime, which I do quite often. How did you guys like the video that I posted earlier today? About us being the triggers for abusers and also the abusers themselves being traumatized. I know that for many of us it's like an eye-opener because we think that abusers are just evil, plain bad, we hate them, we're angry at them. But in the end, there are also people who've just been through some pain as well. And if you're joining, by the way, if you want to ask me a question, just put it into the little rectangle thingy with a question mark, and then I can pull it up on the screen and everybody can see what I'm answering. But basically, first of all, thank you for being here. Hey there. And thank you so much for your trust and thank you for your time. We're trying to create a safe community here so we can talk about the shit that nobody else is talking about, and we can understand each other and we can build our own family, because most of us didn't have a family, still don't have a family. Oh, hey, Eric. If any of you are like me, where my family is alive, my mom is alive, my dad is alive, but I don't have them as a family. Thank you so much, deft ones. So it's your time, you guys. Q&A, ask anything. Just put a question into the little box with the question mark. And I do have your list here, so don't worry. I'm getting so many messages about make a video on this and make a video on this. So I have a list and I'm going down it. So today I made a video on how we are triggers to our abusers. So I have also videos that you wanted me to make on flashbacks, guilt, insecurity, and bad dreams, obsessive thoughts, children being as triggers to ourselves. You like my accent? Hey Eric, yeah, I saw your image pop up and I recognized you. I'm from Russia originally, from Moscow. Although sometimes I make people guess. It's really a fun game because they can't quite detect the accent. So let's see. The other stuff is like when you're having a bad day. Yeah, in the Zoom meetings. Hello. Hey there. Hey. Also, you guys, today is what, Monday? So tomorrow in my community in Emberville, I'm actually leading a circle about a free circle is what we call the gathering of circles, and we do a writing exercise. I love you right back on how to nurture your inner child. So if you want to come to that, that's from 1 to 3 p.m. Pacific time. Let me know and I'll, you can join my community. I'll give you a discount to try first month for like $15. Yeah, Eric is part of community, guys. Eric is in Emberville. So we're going to be writing for about 2 hours how to work through this shit. How do you nurture your inner child? You're very welcome. But if you can't do that, or if you're, you can't join, or right now you're thinking, because it's not a free thing, right? So it's like, well, I'm not sure who the fuck you guys are, which is just me trying to build this community. So I will do a meetup for teens. I'm working on that. You got that. And also this Saturday and every Saturday, I'm going to do a free circle. The link is in my bio. You can sign up for it. It's at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time until 5. Yes, and Eric led his own circle. So basically, if you join the community, you get to lead the circle as well. And you get to talk about whatever it is that you just signed up today. Yay. Tell me if it works, you guys, because we just set it up. So hopefully you get automated emails. I know I got a few messages from you and you said that it wasn't exactly working. So fingers crossed if it hopefully works. If it does not, let's see. Sometimes I don't see the direct messages here on TikTok. So go follow me on Instagram, send me a direct message there, or contact me from, go link in the bio. There's a bunch of ways to contact me and say, hey, I want to be part of Free Circle. I didn't get the shit, blah, 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 whatever. So in a nutshell, what helped me is, yeah, exactly. So Eric, guess what? Last time I had 15 people show up. It was fantastic. So you guys can all ask Eric questions if you'd like. But the gist of it is this, okay? When you have your inner child inside of you, What happens is whenever you've been going through some shit in your life, so trauma, okay, you have this like various children inside of you at those ages when that shit happened to you. When you were 4 and you were 6 and you were 10 and you were 11 and you were, you know, all these ages. So all these children live inside of you if they've never been properly parented. Yeah, if you're interested, little angel, go click on the link in my bio and it would say register for free circle. You can go. Or if you want to join and come to my circle tomorrow, because that one will be Saturday, write to me. Either email me or follow me on Instagram and say, hey, I'm interested, and I'll give you a code that's going to kick the monthly subscription down to $15 to try. Just try 1 month, unlimited circles. You can come to as many as you want. But what I wanted to tell you guys about the inner child work that's so important is that your child, you know, they want to do something that is not acceptable in the adult world. Like, I don't know, maybe walking around in the rain and stomping in the puddles made you happy. Or maybe it's like eating all the candy in the jar. Yes, hey, Shima Pulkaru. Yeah, if you guys join, please tell everybody hello. We're one big family here. Yeah, one community. So just think of it as a gathering all together to just give each other love. Like, for example, we have one of our... this morning I went live and I tried to connect you guys, those of you who are trying to run away from home or basically escape your abusers and leave. Hey sister, right back. I love you so much. To connect, you know, if you want to shout out the city you're from and the country you're from, so that if somebody can go and crash on your couch, maybe provide some relief to these people so you can connect. Okay, so I know Eat My Booty Hole 00. I don't know if she is here. Luli. Yeah, hey, we got greetings from Mexico. I was in London and we were trying to find a way for her to go and crash on somebody's couch in London just to like get a relief. So, but back to the inner child work. What I'm saying is that this is so important because it might seem stupid or far-fetched or whatever, but the thing is that your child inside of you doesn't know that. And that makes them really, really, really happy. Hey, welcome. Smooth, like the whiskey. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be writing tomorrow in my community, okay? Why? Because your inner child might have wanted something you can do as an adult. Let's say they tell you, I want to eat ice cream until I puke, or I want to draw on the walls, or I want to talk to people in code language, or I don't know, I want to put on a tutu and walk around in the tutu and pretend I'm a ballerina. Okay, see you, Eric. See you. Thank you so much. Yeah, join Amberville, as Eric says. So, but it could be that your inner child says, I really want to cut off the heads of my abusers. I mean, seriously, that must have something that you felt when you were abused. Or your inner child says, I really want to go to the moon. I mean, you can't do either of these things, right? So how are you going to nurture your inner child? You're going to write that story for them. And you make them the hero of that story. That's why writing is so nurturing. It's so healing. Is because your brain doesn't know the difference. Anybody here can relate when you read a book? Just think of the book that you read recently. Or a long time ago. I don't know if you guys are readers. Yeah, Amberville is my community. If you want to join, go click on the link in my bio where it says I want to learn more about Amberville. And I'm leading my circle tomorrow at Amberville about how to nurture your inner child. So I'm just talking you through this today, that if you want to join, I'll give you a discount. So we'll drop the monthly subscription to $15. So you can try a whole month for just $15. It's like a limited circles. Yay, you're a reader. Okay, great. So when you read, do you guys know how, I don't know, let's say it's a dragon story and you're like flying like a dragon, but it's not real, right? But your brain doesn't know the difference. So when you read about a dragon flying, or maybe you're writing a dragon, let's say it's a pet dragon story or something, you think that you really are flying. Can you relate that to that? Any readers here of specifically fantasy or sci-fi where like crazy shit happens that you can't do? So it's a proven fact. You can go and Google it and find all the science about it. This is how I healed, okay? In my books, which I have a bunch of these, right? These ones that I wrote. In all of these books of mine, I have multiple times not only hurt my father, but also killed him. And not only my father, but a lot of my other abusers, you know, like my grandmother who used to beat me, my great-grandmother, and my step-grandfather who also sexually abused me, who was an alcoholic and a butcher and just, you know, a nasty man, right? So, man, I carved his gut. I called him a pig. And so when I did that in my book, in my story, I felt this relief. My inner child felt relief. Why? Because the brain doesn't know the difference. Because the brain thought, wow, you really did that. You really got back at the asshole. Do you see what I mean? So this is why this is so important, this work, is because, again, the brain doesn't know the difference. But if you just keep thinking about it, it doesn't happen. You really got to write it down and then read it. So the exercise we're going to be doing tomorrow is we're going to write that story for your inner child as if it was your own child. And then you're going to read that story to your inner child out loud. Do you see what I mean? It is spectacular what happens. Let me take a look. There's been a bunch of questions here. That's a really good question. So, you know, I used to be really embarrassed. And I know, guys, I made you this video on memory. Like, I would forget things in the middle of a sentence. Actually, if many of you have been coming to my lives, you've seen that, right? Any of you have seen it when I would talk and in the middle of a sentence, I'm just like, oh, I just blanked out completely. It's like, but the reason why I would do that is I would touch upon something triggering. Any of you have seen that here? Yeah, anytime I touch upon a triggering subject, my brain just shuts my memory down. It's actually pretty amazing to watch. You can actually see it on video. And I'm saving all of my lives. So if you've missed any, I'm gonna find some way to show it to you because I'm saving them and downloading. Yeah, so in terms of improving, you know, I thought that my memory was bad. But what's interesting that it's not. I remember some things really clearly. Can you relate here? Like something I would remember with photographic clarity. Like it would be amazing. All the details and the names and the smells and the sounds and the movements and like the sensations, everything. But as soon as it gets triggering, it's out. It's like, it's gone. It's gone from my brain, right? So it's almost like I didn't even have anything to improve. What I had to do is to understand that if something triggered me, then that was why I wouldn't remember. And so once I came to grips with that and I understood that that's how my brain works, I stopped obsessing over it and freaking out. Right. Yeah, me too. I thought I was crazy, fucking forgetting everything. I'm like, am I an old lady? Like, am I losing my fucking brain? Exactly, right? But certain elements I would remember amazingly clear. So that's, and it's interesting because, you know, PTSD itself, right? I still have episodes, even though I'm not diagnosed anymore. I'm not medicated anymore. I don't drink any pills. I don't really have panic attacks anymore. It's over. It's gone. I healed myself with the help of a lot of doctors, you know, a lot of people, but also mostly by just writing all of this shit out. So it wasn't that I improved, and I'm trying to answer your question, D3N, and there's like this long string. If you tell me what your name is, it's not that I improved my memory. It's that I stopped blocking out stuff. Does it make sense? Like, it's not that I worked on improving it. It's that it was never wrong. Danny. Oh, hey, Danny. Very nice to meet you. Danny or Danny? Danny. Is it Danny? Just tell me if it's Danny, 1, or Danny, 2. Am I pronouncing it right? As I hate butchering names because people constantly butcher my name. So I know what it's like. Is it Danny or is it, hold on. Is it Danny or is it Danny? Just tell me 1 or 2. Oh, it is Danny. Okay, Danny. So with an ah. Okay, I got it. So it's not that you need to improve anything. I don't think. It's just that you actually stop, you actually stop blocking out stuff. Okay, Danny. Okay, right. So you understand why your brain works your way. And that is when you stop, you kind of talk to your brain almost, and then when it stops doing that shit, you know? So your memory is not wrong. It's like, there's nothing wrong with your memory. Okay? Can we all agree on this? Everybody here, if you have been going through the same shit that we've all been going through, right? Blah, I've lost my English for a second. You don't have a bad memory. It's not a bad memory. It's just selective memory. It's just like that some things really, really don't make sense for you to remember, because you can't, absolutely cannot survive as a kid if you remember that shit. It's horrible, right? You can't, you're gonna be dysfunctional. You can't just get up and, you have to function. You have to go to school. Yeah, exactly. So you remember moments, but moments that are not triggering. Also, sometimes selective. Here's what's interesting. Do you know how many of you told me that, oh, but I remember all the bad stuff? Or you said, oh, but I remember all the good stuff. It's interesting, because I also remember some bad stuff, some of it. But most of it I don't. And I also remember some good stuff. And again, most of it I don't. And then sometimes the memories would come to me. So I stopped fighting it, or I stopped feeling stupid or crazy or, disabled, or I don't know. I thought all these things of like, I'm wrong, everything is wrong, I'm broken, I need to get fixed, blah, 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 blah. So now I don't even consider my memory that I need to improve it, if it makes sense, Danny, that there's nothing to improve. Thank you very much, Dead Ass. I'm laughing my ass off. That is a great name. Does it make sense, Danny? Does it make sense to all of you guys? There is nothing to improve. Like, that is what pisses me off, is that we're continuously being pigeonholed into these boxes. Oh, your memory is bad. Oh, you have ADD. Oh, you have PTSD. Oh, you have insomnia. Oh, you have this disorder. Oh, you have that disorder. Oh, you have to do this, to do that. It's like, no, fuck you. I don't have to anything. Like, there is nothing wrong with us. We never did anything wrong. Other people did wrong to us. So why the fuck do you call us wrong? Why the fuck do you tell us we need to fix something? Why is it that our memory isn't the standard? The selective memory isn't something that's normal, and everybody else who remembers everything is not normal. Like, why? Why do we suffer through it? Because everybody likes to brush it under the rug. This doesn't happen. Sexual abuse in families doesn't happen. Violence, no, doesn't happen. Children, we love our children. I would never beat my child. I would never yell at my child. It's just like, really? It like all happens behind closed doors. And usually the people who do that are well respected, and usually it is men. We still live in patriarchal society, so it's still the man's kingdom, so to speak, right? And so there is this patriarch, and everybody protects him, and he is charming and respected, has this position in society, and you're just a little shit, or some, drama queen, or whatever. It's like, how dare you even say that this man, this well-respected person, could even do something like that? And so you start thinking, guess what you start thinking? Well, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I remember wrong. You see what's happening, Danny? So you start going, maybe my memory is bad. And it isn't. It never was bad. It's not even your memory. It's not even the issue of your memory. Have you seen, those of you who've been here on lives, have you seen me forget stuff in the middle of a sentence? Raise your hand if you've seen it. Every single time when I do that, what happens is because I talked about something that triggered me. Yeah? I mean, any of you who've been here in lives, right? I'm actually recording this live. So if you want the recording, I'll have a link for you on the Vimeo of this live. Just make sure to email me. Go to my link in the bio. It has all the links to contact me. So that's the thing. So it's not a bad thing. It's like, let's take a look at that and let's just say it's not a bad thing. It's a really good thing, because you know what? We're here. We're not fucking dead. We're not fucked up to the point where we've lost touch with reality. We're functioning. We're normal. Like, we're actually existing as adults. And so can you please stop telling us that something is wrong with us? Because nothing is wrong with us, right? We're just bleeding. We're injured and we're healing. When do I go live? I go live every day, 9 to 10 p.m. Pacific time. And it's not an embarrassing issue, by the way. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Fuck all those people who tell you that it's embarrassing. Like, seriously. So I go also live in the morning from about 10 to 11 p.m. or something. I think I did today. So does that answer your question, Danny? Does that help? I really do. I really hope it does. So it's almost like there's nothing for you to improve. Okay? You're already perfect as you are. and your memory is fantastic. So it's only just what your brain is doing, which is, again, what the fuck is PTSD? It is your body telling you, hey, can you please pay attention? Oh, thank you for the fire, right? Can you please pay attention? I'm trying to tell you something. It's not a bad thing. Like, stop labeling us, okay? Stop telling us we have PTSD, right? It's just, I've been through some shit, okay? I don't care what you call it. I call it, I've been hurt. And now I'm healing, okay? It's like if you go and cut a tree down or you cut off a limb of a tree, it's gonna bleed, right? It's gonna the sap is gonna drip. But what the tree is gonna do is gonna patch it up and there's gonna be scar. So think of it this way. You have a scar on your memory, okay? Your memory is a living thing in your head and you have a scar on it. Again, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor. And thankfully, I don't know any of those terms, any of those psycho, blah, whatever, all that speak. I don't care. And I don't know it. If you tell me, I don't fucking understand your language, can you stop talking to me in this? All I know is that I'm hurting. And all I know is that I'm fine, actually. If you just accepted it, that when I'm not remembering what you just said, it is not me being disrespectful. It is not me ignoring you. Okay? It is not me not listening to you or not loving you or any of that bullshit. Can you just understand that this is how my memory works? I don't remember. That does not mean that I'm not listening. I am, and I'm trying so hard. So would you please fucking get it through your thick skull that I love you, that I care, and that I listen. Thank you. Thank you for all the loves, right? I just don't fucking remember. So please don't tell me that I'm wrong. And please don't tell me that I am somehow not doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm getting out of my skin. What is the love slap? What's this love slap, you guys? What's going on? I'm not sure. There's all of this stuff going on. What is that? Can somebody explain to me what this love slap is? This is interesting. All right. Okay, I'm not sure what this means. Who is Scott Henry and why are we getting all of that? Whoa. What is going on, you guys? I don't see. I'm confused. Who is Scott Henry? What can somebody explain to me, maybe in some comments or maybe in just showing love and positivity. Whoa. Okay. What's going on? Oh my God, we're at 300 viewers? What happened? I'm not sure what's going on, you guys. I'm one of the very first, it's my 4th or 5th week only on TikTok. So maybe somebody can explain to me. I guess I'll just keep talking, right? So how to improve your memory from after PTSD. So this is very interesting. It's you have no idea who you are. Thank you all. Thank you. I don't know why there's suddenly so many of you. This is interesting. So I forgot your name. Q Solid Digital. If you just tell me what your name is. So your abuser told you today you have no idea who you are. This really fucking sucks. Really what's happening is that person is trying to make you think that you don't understand. Oh, Alyssa, thank you. I forgot. Oh, he's a famous TikToker. Okay, thank you. Scott D. Henry, thank you. Somehow you brought in all these people. Welcome. This is fantastic. I have no idea what a love slap is, but thank you. I'm sending you all my love because this is what we're here for, right? I trust you with my heart. And hopefully you will trust me back with your heart. So I trust you with my story and hopefully you will help me. You will come to me and you'll trust me with your story, with all the shit that happened to you, all the shit that nobody has ever listened to, all this shitty stuff that happened day in and day out. And people will be like, la, don't talk to me, Whoa, we're a little slower now. This is amazing. So, but back to you, Alexa. Was it Alexa? My apologies if I've forgotten because this has been Love slap from Scott D. Henry. I'll have to go and thank Scott D. Henry, whoever that is. That was amazing. So when your abuser is telling you they don't know, you don't know who you are, that is like, this is a really, really, really low cut into your gut, because what happens is they basically take away your personality. They don't, you have never had a chance to actually even understand who you are, right? When you grow up in an environment like that. Why? Because seriously, you never had a chance to be yourself. You were always being taken from. Can you guys relate? You know, you weren't even a child, so to speak. Again, anybody can relate, because you never had the space or time or room or even emotional well-being to be a child. You couldn't be careless. You could, yeah, right? You couldn't be a kid who, you know, was just free and didn't care about food, where it was going to come the next day, or about doing something wrong because you were going to be punished or something of that sort. You just couldn't. That was amazing, because, you know, you were in some way, you weren't even sure that you were being taken advantage of. You were just trying to be, you know, a really nice person, because you were trying to please your dad, your mom. You were trying to please all of these people. Whew, you guys, I'm still a little taken by this love slap. That was something amazing. I have no clue what that meant. So I'm trying to get my thoughts together. But is there any way you can isolate yourself from your abuser? Because what happens is this messages, it's gonna permeate your brain. And so what happens is that you cannot get it out of here. If you are around people who keep telling you this stuff, I think the saying is like you're the sum of the 5 people who are around you. And that you internalize these messages. You begin telling yourself your own story. Does it make sense? Like you have a story running in your head. This is how I am. This is who I am. This is what happens. Right? Anybody else can relate to it? I can never be this. I can never be that. This cannot happen. This cannot happen. That cannot happen. Like it's crazy. Because you don't even know who you are anymore. And what do? You just please other people. Anybody else here? People pleaser, right? You go, oh, well, maybe if I please so-and-so, they'll love me back. Well, maybe if I please so-and-so, they'll be nice to me, right? Yeah, well, maybe I felt pleased, but guess what happens? You try to please so hard and nothing happens. Like, they don't get nicer, right? They sometimes even hurt you more. Anybody else here have been in the same boat? You go, but what am I doing wrong? I'm actually trying to do something good for you. It's because it's the wrong thing to do. It's because you cannot ever please your abuser. You cannot. This is not what they want from you. They want to use you, okay? You're a tool. Do you guys get that? You're a tool. A tool meaning they use you to get over their own pain. That video that I made you guys today, is it today when I made it for you, or yesterday, about serial killers? I think it was from today. They literally see their own pain on your face. And especially if you're related, if you're a child and a parent, this is how they get over their shit. You see what I mean? So this is what happens, is just they use you. And so you're not even a child, you're like a thing. Most of the time also there is no bonding happening. So like when your child, when you're a mom or your dad, they didn't really spend a lot of time with you. Do you know how most of us think like, how can you do that to your own child? But if they're mostly absent from your life, the bonding never happens. So you really become like an object to them. Not so much as a, not so much as a child where the bonding happened, where it's like, I'm your parent, but more like an object, and annoying too. You know, like small, you need to feed it, it cries, it pees, it poops, it's not sleeping. So when there is noise or anything else, it's just very simple to just beat that child. And hopefully that child will shut up. Or if they won't shut up, you know, you're being shaken or yelled at. Because simply those people don't have any mechanisms or resources to deal with their own emotions. And so you trigger that stuff in them, especially, like I said, if you look like them, especially if it happens at the same age that stuff happened to them. It goes on for generations. You see, and in families, it goes on for generations. And that is the shittiest thing, you know, that Alexa, that could have been told to you. It's like, you have no idea who you are. But because that's what the abusers do. They rob us of our identity. Okay? Before we're even able to develop our identity, they rob us. Does it make sense, you guys? Can you relate to that? So you don't have a chance to actually understand who you are. It's gone from you. And sometimes for many, many, many years. So you can't really discover it. It is so painful because when you're an adult, guess what happens? People take advantage of you. Do you know how? They tell you who you are. They're like, oh, you should go study this, or you should go here, or you should take that job. You should. Guess what you do? What do? Huh? You please those people. I know, I've done it. Sure, I say, I'll go do this. I'll go do that. You know, it wasn't until about 10 years ago when I woke up from life, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I've done all of these things other people told me. Like, other people told me how to live my life. But hello there. But I never really knew how to live. Like, what is it that I wanted to do? I don't even know how to say I want. Or I don't even know what I want. Yeah? You guys been in the same boat? It was horrendous. It was just like, oh wow. I guess I lived my life for other people. Yeah, exactly. You say it all the time. But the thing is, and then you realize you're like, oh my God, you took advantage of me, didn't you? Right? And it's just, you can't help it. And then you just get crushed. You go, holy shit. Oh, you're there right now? I'm so sorry. Augustine the Alien. Can we please all send love to Augustine? Wow, is that your name? That is beautiful. Augustine the Alien. Please. Yeah, just say, hey, we're here together with you. Because, yeah, I know I've been there. I've been in that place where I was like, well, I don't even know who I am. You know, and it's not even so much as because I was told that. It's because I never really had the chance to develop. I'd always catch other people. And then I was like, oh. And then I was a young mom. Anybody else here? I was a teen mom. You know, first of all, I didn't get a chance to be a kid. And then immediately I became a mom. And it was like, I never really had a childhood. So now that I'm in my 40s, I'm allowing my inner child to just go nuts. Because, yeah, you too? I know, right? Yeah. So, fuck. It's sick. Absolutely sick. So, let's see. Let me just take a look at all the questions. Spreading love and positivity. Oh, wow. So, okay, I got all of these questions. That was so fantastic. Scott D. Henry. I'll have to write it down, and I'll have to figure out how to do that love slapping, because you're another teen mom. Any other teen moms here? Teen moms, teen dads? Are we the only one? The only two? How do I love myself? Matsutake 22. If you can tell us what your name is, Matsutake, and I'll try to answer that. You know, I didn't start loving myself until I actually even understood that I'm worthy of love. Does it make sense? Like, I didn't even know that I could love myself. Like, I could love other people, right? And that was okay. That was actually even good. But I thought that loving myself was somehow bad. It was selfish. It was egotistical. It was not accepted. So I would always shove myself in the background, you know, because everything has been pretty much taken from me most of the time, right? When I was growing up. And so I didn't even know that loving myself is something that is healthy. Did you guys have the same? It was like, no, this is bad, I thought. Loving myself is bad. Loving other people is good, but loving myself, it just cannot be good because it's so selfish. Like, I have to give until I was like, wait a second. So I was giving to other people all the time. Yes? Can relate, right? So, and I thought, wait a second. Exactly. Yeah, I feel guilty about doing anything for me. And I was like, but how are all these other people doing things for themselves and they seem happy? Like, why is it that I can't do it? So it wasn't so much a teaching myself to love myself or figuring out how to love myself. It was, feeling like I can't breathe anymore. Exactly. So it was first of all, it was the understanding that loving myself was okay. That was a big one because I was like, I can love myself, right? But second of all, after that, I was like, how do I love myself? I didn't even know how. Can you guys relate to that? I was like, what does that mean? So I went on these weird binges. Like I would go shop for like clothes that I didn't need. And then I would realize that my mom was a fashion designer and she really loved dressing me up as a little girl. And so I would stand still, and that's when she loved me. So I decided in my head that if I looked pretty in all these clothes, that my mom would love me. But I was wrong, right? Because it wasn't about my mom. It was about me loving myself. Guess what I did next? I tried to think, well, who else can I please so they would love me? So I went through this whole period of thinking somebody else has to make me happy. Somebody else has to love me. I didn't know that I could love myself and I don't need anybody. You guys follow? Like that it wasn't that I wasn't lonely, that I wasn't alone or forgotten or I didn't have any friends. That this was enough. Like this right here was enough. So that was my first step. I was like, wait a second. I don't need anybody. I can just be me for me, right? And then the second thing was, well, what do I actually do? So that was the inner child work that I was talking about, which I'm going to be leading a circle about tomorrow at my community, is how do you nurture your inner child? So I began loving myself when I began loving that little girl, you know, because I hated myself so much. Like I would look in the mirror and I would see my father's face. I have my father's eyes, like really big, and, you know, some of my mom's features, and I would hate it because it would remind me of my dad, right? So I posted you guys this video, how I changed my whole identity. My name is new. I'm speaking in the language to you that's not my first language. I'm living in a country that's not where I was born. And I had a nose job done. So, you know, I landed in an accident. I was hit by a truck when I was biking. And I got all this insurance money. Otherwise, I would have never been able to afford it. And I just wanted to do it since I was a teenager. I had kind of a bigger, different shaped nose, which reminded me of my father every single time when I look in the mirror. And I hated it so much. So that was the beginnings of me loving myself. But the most important work happened when I would look at that little girl, and instead of feeling disgust because she would be crying and wheedling and, you know, whining and be in pain, or she'd be angry at me, and I'm like, shut up and stop. And who do you think you are? Like I was so angry at that little girl until I was like, wait, that's me too. Like, how can I be angry at myself when I survived as a kid? I had no resources. I didn't really have adults helping me, but I'm here, guys. Like, I survived. So, but that's not me anymore. That's that little girl who was in me. And so that, when the first inklings of love happened for me. Is this helping, Matsutake? Do you feel what I'm talking about? That was the very first time when I had like this itch, this, how to explain it? Like this first yearning to love that girl. I was like, you did this for me? You suffered all that stuff so I could have a life? You guys, when it hit me, I bawled my eyes out. I cried and I cried. I'm probably gonna cry right now again. I was like, you were like 5 or 6 and you did this for me. You did everything that you went through is now, you know, allowing me to live and be happy. And that's when I thought, holy shit, I love you. You know, like I felt this emotion that I'm feeling right now. We don't do that kind of work. Like it's just not part of our daily routine, right? We all know we have to exercise, but we don't do this, which is, thank you, which is, I call it daily mental health exercise, you know, where you go, okay, well, you know, you have to exercise your body. Well, how about your mental health? You know, how about your happiness? You literally have to exercise it. So it wasn't until I realized, my God, that little child in me has been braver and stronger and more fearless than I am right now. And I thought, fuck, well, I'm a total bitch if I don't love that kid. Like how can I not? You know, it just made me feel grateful, and I don't know, I just dissolved. Does it make sense? Like, have any of you had that same experience? So it's just, it was a revelation for me. It was a revelation because I always thought the opposite, right? I thought it's me now and there's nothing that happened before, and everything that happened before is like some kind of a story in my head. And yeah, where do you start? Where do you start? Like I said, I'm leading a circle tomorrow in my community on how to nurture your inner child. So I'll try to tell you here what to do. You sit down. This is what I recommend. I think I told you guys before. Every day for 20 minutes. Schedule 20 minutes. I tried 10 minutes. Is not enough. Half an hour is usually a little too long because, you know, jobs, kids, bills to get paid, like busyness, craziness, it's a little too long. But 20 minutes is enough. You don't have an excuse. Like everybody can find 20 minutes. Turn everything off. Your computer, your phone, your watch if it's beeping, everything, everything, everything. And then once you do that, you talk to your inner child. That's how you begin. You say, hey. And like for me, my name is Ksenia. I'll say, hey, Ksenia. Actually, in Russian, the diminutive name is Ksyusha. So I would tell her, Ksyusha, how are you? What are you afraid of right now? What are you feeling? And so she would tell me. I mean, I would close my eyes and I would imagine her. And if I couldn't imagine her, I would look at the picture, like a photograph, right? So, and then I would sit and listen. And at first it was weird. I felt strange. I was like, am I crazy? You know, imagining myself. But with time, I got used to it. And then she emerged, that little girl. And she would come to me in different ages. Sometimes she'd be 5. Sometimes she'd be 11. Sometimes she'd be 7. And she would tell me how she felt. And I'd be like, oh, okay. Why? You know, what's the story behind it? And so she'd tell me these stories. And we would sit and talk. Like, I mean, literally happened in the head. But the difference is you're not just imagining it or feeling stuff. You're actually putting it into words, into a story outside of your body, inside of the body of that little child who lived through it. And then you're listening and you're putting it back into your body. Can you guys see what I just did here? The circle? So it's all as a mess inside of you right now, right? So when you sit down, talk to your inner child, you take it. I'm so sorry you're in tears. Yeah, I'm like trying not to cry either because it's so powerful. So step 1, you take it out of your body and you put it in the body of your inner child. Okay? Step 2, you listen to your inner child tell you the story. You ask what happened. Step 3, from inner child, you reabsorb it back into your body, except now you know. It's not a mess anymore. It's not like this overwhelming, overflowing kind of a bucket of emotions, memories, or bits of memories, or you don't know what to make of it. Do you see? This is what you do. It does really work in 20 minutes. I've done that. If you want to go a step further, you write that out. This is why I started my community, Emberville, is because that's what we do in there. We lead circles. Yes, you talk. So, PC Girly, what's your name? If you tell me what your name is, I can literally talk you through this. So, you talk, and if you want to, you talk out loud. I actually talk out loud to my inner child every day because I'm writing books. I'm writing my thriller, my first thriller right now, which is kind of like The Silence of the Lambs creepy. And I switched genders because that's another thing. And what you can do in fiction is, for example, oh, Elena, are you, that's a Russian name, or we use it a lot in Russia. Do you speak Russian, or you're not connected to Russian anyway? So you create this habit of talking to yourself, but not as a, you know, like a weird conversation with somebody imagined, but as your inner kid, somebody who's still in you, as if you crossed the time in the time machine. Does it make sense? Like you pretend that there is no time. And so if you think about it, oh, he's panicked. I love it, Yelena. If you think about it, it's like a time machine, right? So you go back to that time. So there's 2 instances of you. I don't know if any of you here like physics and like, you know, theories of time and all of that. Is that you are instantly in multiple times, right? So you just go back to that instance and you talk. You know, if you're into movie watching, watch Interstellar. It's a fantastic movie, but it'll give you some idea on that, right? So you talk and you ask, and that removes the pressure. All of a sudden, you're not wrong. There's nothing wrong with your body. Do you follow? You're really putting it outside of your body, and you're just listening to a story, and that calms you down. Okay, because there's nothing better than listening to the story. You guys follow? Okay, so does that answer your question, how to begin how to love yourself, how to even begin loving yourself, is listen. That is one word. Please listen. Your body knows best, because all of these children live in your body. We just don't listen anymore. You know, our body tells us, do this, do that. And we're like, fuck you. I'm busy. Yeah, you're welcome, Ileana. I mean, I really hope that helps. I haven't heard from Matsutake22 who really asked this question. Is it helping you? Did it help? I'll move on to the next one, okay? So let's see. Storyline. That's a really good one. You know, usually murder. I found that I'm really violent in my books. Anybody else has written stuff, you know, fictionalized where you're like really violent, and people go, wow, how can you come up with all that horror? You look so nice and so smiley. I'm like, you don't want to know. Like, I wish I didn't. So all of the stuff that I've been through, I just didn't want to carry it in my body anymore, because I understood that it is hurting me, and I put it on the page. So, I mean, by storyline, if you want to clarify, Somies, what specifically you mean by storyline, but most of the time it is murder, you know, mystery, murder, torture, bleeding. I mean, not like, I don't write gory stuff, but it's pretty bizarre sometimes. Let's see, like this one is about ghosts. It's a ghost story. It's about a Russian ballerina on a train in the middle of Siberian winter, and she's facing dead people, you know, ghosts. That's basically what happens. But this one is, I used to be in Berlin. I lived in Berlin when I was pre-teen, from when I was 11 till I was 15. So I wrote this book. It's called Rosehead. It's about a rose garden that eats people. I mean, it's actually good for kids 8 and up. Kids and adults love it, both. But that's how I coped with my stuff, is I would turn it into a fantasy, because then it became more accessible. I gained more distance. Does it make sense, you guys? When you put it into a fictional story, a fantastical story, it gives you more distance. And so that's what helps you then processing all of that, because all of a sudden you're not in it, you're outside of it, right? So does that answer your question? I hope it does, Somies. Let me move on. Again, about the memory. Yes, it does. And I want to say that it never was bad. It took a pivot. It took a hit. It got injured. Does it make sense? Like, it's not that something is bad with your memory. It's just that your brain is working really, really hard. Your brain is an amazing machine. Okay, we're designed to survive. So there is nothing wrong with the memory. Thank you, Wild Wisdom. I love that name, Wild Wisdom. That's fantastic. So it's not wrong. It's a protection mechanism. Okay, so I'm not sure now what to repeat. Again, I'm recording. I'm gonna download this live. I can't remember. This is the worst part. Is that in the middle of a sentence, I've forgotten. Fuck. Oh, about the writing. So you have created distance if you have written your story into a fictional story. Because when you write out the actual journaling, the actual stuff that happened, you're in it. You can't take it out of your body. But when you put it into fiction, you gain distance that you need to process it and put it behind in the past where it belongs. Do you see? That's the definition of PTSD, right? What is it? Post-traumatic stress disorder. What does that mean? You're in the pain now, and in the pain now, and now, and now, and now. There's like really, literally, oh, thank you. Thank you so much, PC Girly. Okay, now I forgot your name. Oh, Yelena, thank you. So you don't get a break because it's not in the past, and it's not in the future. It's always constantly now, right? But when you put it into a fictionalized story, you change your name, you even maybe change your gender or change your appearance. And all of a sudden it's not about you, even though you are writing about you, but it isn't. And so your brain, you trick it. There's actually a way to access your repressed memories, guys. This is how I remembered most of my stuff, is I tricked my brain and it stopped blocking. And guess what? And I accessed the back of my brain. And I was like, fuck yeah. All that stuff started coming out. Yes, absolutely. So what happens is then your brain in here doesn't block it. It says, oh, there's no danger. It's not about you. And you go, yeah, shh, it's not about me. but it is. But again, like I said, guys, the brain doesn't know the difference, right? So this is how, I guess, to answer your question, your memory get better. You don't have a bad memory, okay? It's not a bad memory. It's just that your brain is working really hard to protect you from something, okay? So that's how, how do I do TikTok videos? I make you a new video every day, you guys. And I go live twice a day. So, and I was gonna tell you, I try to go live on the weekends, but that's the only days when I'm kind of resting. And on Saturday, we're gonna have the free circle with me. If you wanna register, go to the link in my bio. It's gonna be at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. So Sunday, I don't know. So basically on the weekend, if I go live, maybe, I won't promise. But on the work days, I'm religiously here at night, unless I'm totally tired and exhausted, 9 to 10 Pacific time. And in the morning, I try to go 10 to 11 a.m. I did this morning, so it worked. Let me go through any more of your questions. Let's see. Yeah, again, if you want to get in touch with me, go to the link in my bio. I used to do coaching. All of my energy right now is consumed with my community that I'm building, Emberville. So I'm doing the stuff in there. I still do some coaching, but I'm about to shut it down because I just don't have any capacity time-wise. But again, if you go to the link in my bio, all the information is in there. All the links. Let's see. So wow, there is actually so much. There's many questions that came from Scott D. Henry. Yeah, I'll have to go and look him up, I guess. Do I take any medicine? Yeah, that's a good question. No, I don't take any meds. So I'll tell you guys what I think about meds. I think that meds are really helpful at one time or another in your life because it's kind of like a crutch. I was on ADD pills, ADHD pills, insomnia pills, side effect pills, PTSD pills, whatever. I cannot even remember all of them. And so it helped me because at one point I had to continue to survive. As a mom, I had a job. It was just horrible. So I couldn't really pull myself together to function, and I had to function. So I used the pills as a crutch. I had horrible side effects. I was sweaty all the time, bloated. I still remember it. It was so bad. I don't know how I lived through that period. I'm not on any pills anymore. I used to not be able to sleep. Actually, this has been now maybe about 5 years, I think. For the first time in my life, guys, I'm sleeping like a baby. I never could sleep. Even as a child, I always had nightmares. I had trouble falling asleep. I had trouble waking up. Bad was a trigger. Darkness was a trigger. Sleep, falling asleep was a trigger. Anybody here can relate? Falling asleep meant losing control. I was terrified of falling asleep. I would lay there with my eyes open, like literally, I would open them really huge, going, I'm not gonna sleep, I'm not gonna sleep, I'm not gonna sleep, not gonna sleep. And eventually you just drift off, but I was terrified of losing control. So I'm not on any pills. I sleep fantastically. I'm telling you, this is not bullshit, okay? I did not think it was possible. I did not think that in my life I could ever sleep through the night, okay? Of course there were nights when I was exhausted and I slept through it. I have 2 kids, so when I had babies, I would crush. But it was always a struggle. It was always a struggle. The second thing? Dressing. Can anybody else relate to this? I would go into the closet or look at my clothes and I'll be like, I don't know what to wear. It took me sometimes hours. And I was paralyzed. I would be like, oh, hey, from South Carolina. I'd be like, well, should I wear these socks or these? Well, maybe this is not going to match this. Well, but then it's like, oh my God, do you find it debilitating, right? You're just like, just fucking get dressed. And I could not. Just the decision making. Yeah, especially before school or before you have to go somewhere. And then you get more anxious and then more anxious. And then you just you get into the, you shake. And then you have to get dressed. Oh my God, it was torture. Another torture, going to the store. anybody else here, going out and picking stuff. I would stand there and go, should I get this milk or that milk? I don't know. This is, no, but maybe this, well, but this one is, oh, but this is cheaper. But wait, yes, indecisiveness. It is, do you know how we're told, oh, it's your ADD? I call bullshit. It's not your ADD or ADHD, okay? I'm not taking any pills, and I was diagnosed. I was diagnosed with ADD, and I was diagnosed with ADHD, and I was diagnosed with PTSD, and they hold me through all kinds of therapists trying to diagnose this and this and this and that. And I'm fine right now. I no longer go into the store and get paralyzed by choices. So what it was that you cannot decide, because every single time you decide, something can go wrong. You can get punished, okay? Yeah, can't go to the store because of anxiety. Exactly. Then you just give up. Because the fear of pain is so great, because you've been through this pain, you just cannot get over it. And so you're afraid to make the wrong decision. Do you follow? You can't make a decision because you're afraid it will be wrong. And what happens if it's wrong? Pain. You get punished. So, sure, on one end, there's all the medical terms. On another end, I call bullshit. I think that we're just too damn lazy altogether as a society to go and help ourselves, us, people who've been through trauma, because it's just too complicated. It's really easy to put a label and say, oh, you fit in the bucket of PTSD. Okay, we're going to give you these pills. Oh, but you over here, oh, you fit into this ADD bucket. You over there, you fit into this bucket. And it's like, well, fuck you. I don't fit in any bucket, okay? And I don't need pills. I just need you to listen. Can you listen to my story? Like, once I get it all out, I actually feel good. But you're not listening. No, you're trying to feed me pills. Thank you very much. So, right? I mean, I've been through 8 therapists and it just wasn't working. So I thought, something is wrong with me, I thought. Well, nothing is wrong with me. So I'm telling you, there is nothing wrong with you. Like, I'm convinced there is nothing wrong with you. I mean, sure, there are clinical examples. Sure, there's chemical imbalance in your body. Sure, you can go test that shit. But I believe most of us don't have anything wrong with us. Nothing. There's nothing wrong with us. We just fucking need to heal. We're hurting. We're bleeding. Quote unquote. Bleeding. Our routines have been, torn apart. Our memories have been bruised. Okay? Our abilities to recover has been cut. And we're bleeding. Right? So that is what this is. It's none of those labels. And so what I'm saying is, in terms of meds, I did take meds until I realized that I didn't need meds. But at first I did. And if there is something that you really need to do, and the meds can help, because there is such a thing as a chemical disbalance. If you are depressed, it's all here. It's in the brain. So it's like a crutch. Okay, the meds can help you, but you can use the meds to get off the meds, if it makes any sense. You can actually take the meds so you're clear enough so you can plan how to get off the meds. That's what I did. So hopefully this answers your question. Oh, that's a really good one. Thank you. So yeah, the side effects are awful. I hated the side effects. I was sweating like a pig, and I smell. Did you remember, any of you here on the meds? The smell is disgusting. Like, your sweat is sour and blah. I mean, I hated it. It was just, especially in the summer, you feel like you're fucking leaking out of your pores. It was horrible. So yeah, and then you get jittery, and exactly. So how you're saying, I love your question. How did you become so transparent about your life? First of all, I was suicidal. And then when I decided not to kill myself, I kind of stopped giving fucks. Like, after my family turned away from me, after I confronted my father, he admitted to what he did. I turned around to all my family members. I told them that, mostly women. They all told me I'm imagining it, and that conversation never taken place, and blah, 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 blah. I really wanted to kill myself for a while. And then I thought, fuck you guys. First of all, I thought that would be a shit move on my kids. If I kill myself, how am I going to be better than my mom, right? So, and then I went really angry. So I went public, but I was cut down about 3 times. 3 times I tried this. And so I hid from people for about 10 years. This is how long it took me to just hide away and go, I don't give a crap about people anymore. Like, seriously, I just don't even want to talk to anybody anymore. Like, fuck you all. Like, just fuck mankind. You know, womankind, by the way. Fuck the word mankind itself. It's like, I'm just done. Like, I don't want to talk to anybody. Thank you for the fire. Because nobody wanted to listen and nobody believed. And it's just like, okay, done. Goodbye. You know, oh, my timer is going off. So it's been an hour. So I'll wrap it up in a few minutes. But, and then I realized that I really, really missed my people. You guys are my people. You're my family, okay? You're the family that I've never had. And I realized that I am lonely. You know, I hid from people. Yeah, I was fine, but I really missed just talking. Like talking to you, you get me, right? You tell me a thing, I'm like, yep, been there, been there. I tell you, you're like, yep. I'm like, relate? Yep. You know, I don't have to explain it to you. You don't have to explain it to me. I get you. And I thought, okay, well, what can I do? And then I thought, you know, it always takes the first person to create a community. I wanted to create a safe community. So when COVID hit and when, you know, the mental health, we're in the middle of mental health epidemic right now, especially because of COVID. Thank you so much for the hearts. I thought, wow, I just want to eradicate trauma. I want this shit to stop. I want us to stop hurting each other. I mean, there's one thing you get trauma because something traumatic happens. Somebody dies in your family, you get hit by a car, you know, whatever. But it's a completely another thing when you get traumatized because somebody hurt you on purpose. So it's like, I want this to stop. And that was my crazy mission. I woke up and I thought, I want to eradicate trauma. And that's when I understood the only way I can do that if I begin to speak. And I was like, oh, fuck. I have to get out there again, be with people, you know? But then I thought, I have to make that first step. I'm strong enough. And I have to trust you with my honesty. I have to trust you with my vulnerability. I have to trust you with my body. I have to trust you with my memories. I have to trust you with my love, with my heart, with my whole being. And if I trust you without knowing you first, then maybe, just maybe, I can create a space for you when you trust me too. And where we trust each other, where if I share my story, that maybe that will create a space for you to share yours. And I thought, I'm down for that. Like, I'll do that till the day I die. Like, this is worth living for, you know? And so this is my 4th time going out. Also, I've been through some stuff. A man actually sexually harassed me. I let him do it to me for about 2 years. That happened about 2 years ago. He derailed this book almost from publishing. It's a long story, but I got a PhD in trolls, you guys. I cut him out of my life. I had to get legal action. I documented his sexual harassment. For the first time in my life, I actually went up against an abuser. And that's when I realized that I'm pretty strong. I actually healed myself by hiding. And so I thought, I want to give. Like, I want to help you. Because, guys, when I was going through this, I didn't have anybody to help me. I had my boyfriend, whom I just met. I had my kids. And most of my friends dumped me. That's how you know that your friends are not true friends. They were just gone. They just left me. I was like the diseased person, okay? So, and it was the fact that I didn't care anymore what my family thinks. Like, if they did, I just blocked their asses. I cut off all contact with them. And it was so easy once I got this. What I see here, I'm like, I'm doing it for you. But you're also doing it for me. We're doing it for each other. Like, we're building a family that we've never had before. And so that inspired me. You know, does that answer your question? How did I become so transparent? So I thought, you know what? I can die any moment. And I've learned all this stuff. I'm so happy right now. And it's like I have space and time and, you know, love in me. Like, I'm not in that. Remember, you guys, I told you about the kitchen with no food when somebody shows up. Hey, do you want to have pizza? Right? So it's kind of like the same thing. My kitchen is full of food now. If somebody shows up with a pizza at the door, I'm like, I don't need you. And so I have the space now for you. I can hold you. I can hold the space for you when nobody is out there for you. Okay, I'm going to be that person. So I will be your family. And then maybe you will be my family too. Because I'd be shitting you guys. And I'd be lying if I told you I'm fine on my own. I miss my family. I wish I had a mom and a dad normally and together where I could go to them and I could tell them all the things in my life, and they would sit and they would listen and they would feed me this food and they would tell me, you're doing great, I'm proud of you. I can't continue, otherwise I'll start crying, but I wish, but it will never happen. So I'm here because I know you will tell me that, right? And I know I'll tell you that when you have nobody to go to. I know you come here and I will hold you and I'll tell you I can be your parent. Like I can adopt you for 5 minutes and I don't care. So we can do it for each other. Okay? I love you guys all. Oh my God, this has been hard. So I'm really grateful for you. I'm so happy you're here. I can't tell you how honored and humbled I am that you're spending time with me. Like, this is amazing that you're taking time. I love you all very much. I love you right back. Please come to my Saturday circle. Yeah, group hug. Everybody, group hug. If you want to come to my circle tomorrow in my community on how to help, how to heal your inner child, just send me a message and I'll give you a discount. You know, so you can try the first month for $15, okay? And you can join tomorrow. It's going to be at 1 p.m. Pacific time. On Wednesday, I'm leading another circle, and it's going to be how to write out your worst fears. Yeah. Oh, you did, right on. So, but if you want to do a free one on Saturday, it's just not going to be as intimate. In my community, we limit the circles to 10 people. So on Saturday, last Saturday, 15 people showed up and they're growing. Our numbers is growing. So sign up for this Saturday. It's going to be at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. And we're going to write in there and I'm going to help you too. So I love you all so, so much. You are my family. You get that? And if any of you here need to cut out your toxic environment, if any of you here really need to leave, please, when we're in my lives, talk, say, hey, I'm from this city, from this country. And if somebody else is from your city, from your country, talk to them and say, hey, if you have space, okay, to maybe get somebody in your house to crash on the couch. Thank you for the fire. You know, I mean, use your judgment. Don't, if your body throws up red flags, it might not be safe that you just met somebody online. But most of us really want to help each other, okay? So if you can, please do this for each other. This is what this community is for. I wish I had that. When I was a teen, when I was running away, I just ran away blindly, not fucking knowing what I was going to do. And maybe because I got pregnant, it kind of rooted me in life. My daughter really saved me from just floating in the space, you know, because I suddenly had to be a mom at 18. But I ask you, please connect to one another. And, you know, let's support each other and fuck all those people who don't get us. Just fuck them. Just come here. I get you. Okay? We all get each other. Okay, I'm going to go sleep. I'm going to be live tomorrow again. I'm going to make you another video, probably on insecurities or flashbacks or guilt. And I'll see you tomorrow lives, okay? I love you. Hopefully you can join my circle tomorrow in my community. All the links are in the bio, or again on Instagram you can send me a direct message and just tell me, it's like, hey, I want to join tomorrow, hey, I want to join Saturday, and I'll hook you up. Okay, I love you. Bye. Have a good night. Bye.